Hello guys, how are you? I'm here from Edu Zone. Today we'll discuss about the topic GST, which is the first chapter in your ICSE Concise Selena Publications Mathematics Class 10th book. So, when you think about GST, the first thing which comes in your mind is tax, since GST is also a goods and services tax. So what is tax? Simply, we must know that every government, be it a central or a state government, for example, I live in Jharkhand, so my Jharkhand government and Indian government, both the governments need money for administrative expenses, for the development and the welfare schemes which they offer to the men, for the salary of the employees, the government employees which work under them. So to pay them, they require some revenue from the people, which they take in the form of taxes. So there are two types of taxes in India. The government collects money or revenue by levying taxes within the respective territories. For example, Indian government will take its tax only in India, not in Bangladesh or Nepal or any other country. Simply, we must understand that government collects money by levying taxes within their respective territories. In India, we have two types of taxes coming on the topic. The first one is direct tax and the second one is indirect tax. You must note it down. The direct taxes are those that are levied on the income of individuals or organizations. So when, for example, we shall take your father. So when your father is a government employee, we suppose, and his income is much more than 1 lakh, then when his income comes, then he must pay income tax, isn't it? Everyone pays income tax whose income is much more. So this tax which is paid by that individual or organization from his income, his or her income, this is known as direct tax. They include income tax and corporate tax. You can note it down. So second one is indirect taxes. So indirect taxes, simply you must understand that these are taxes that are paid by the consumers or the organizations when they buy goods or services or both. So for example, we shall suppose a clothes store. So it has transactions, daily transactions, it is a big store. So when any customer pays it money, then it gives the some percentage of the his income to the government, be it a state government or the central government. So these were the two types of taxes which we took. So now we shall study about the computation of taxes. That's not a much longer topic. We shall cover it in a small time. So computation of taxes or calculation of taxes, we shall understand it better. So taxes are computed on the cost price of purchase of the goods or services or both at a particular percentage pronounced by the government. So as I told you some times ago, that a clothes store, for example, we shall suppose a clothes store. So when a customer buys some product from it, let's say suppose a saree which is of cost 1000 rupees, and the government has set the rate of GST as 10%, then the GST which will be given to the government by the shopkeeper will be 10% of the purchase of the goods, means MRP of the goods. So MRP of the goods is what? 1000 rupees, as I told you. So 10% of 1000 rupees will be rupees 100 simply. So that shall be the GST. But it's not over here. So you must note it down right now. Once the tax rate is given, it's simply easy to compute the taxes or calculate the taxes. Now, calculation of taxes, it involves only simple concepts of percentage. As we do percentage calculation, simply it is tax calculation, not much more. So in order to calculate taxes, we need to know the following terms. Firstly, a dealer. A dealer, a shopkeeper, person who buys goods, services for resale. Must note it down. What is a dealer? A dealer is a person who buys goods or services for resale. And now the cost price. You may have studied it earlier in profit loss concept. It is the price at which a trader buys the goods from the wholesaler from its earlier stages. The cost price is also termed as the basic price. Cost price or basic price. Now the list price. It is the price at which an article is marked. So at a price of an article or a sari is ₹1000. It is written on the sari, but sometimes what happens is there are discounts are given. For example, 50% discount. So 50% discount on ₹1000 will be 500. So 500 minus 1000 will be ₹500. So it will be the selling price of the article. If 500 means cost price, list price minus discount is equal to the discounted price. So when an article is sold without discount, you must know it simply. Its selling price is equal to its list price or market price. So let us consider some examples now. First one, Dinesh buys a chair marked at ₹5,000 at a discount of 20% on the marked price. The rate of tax being 20%. Calculate the tax Dinesh has to pay for his purchase. Also find the total amount to be paid by Dinesh. So here we shall solve it. The solution will be marked price of the chair. What? Dinesh buys a chair at a marked price ₹5,000. So marked price will be ₹5,000. And in the question is given at a discount of 20%. So discount will be 20%. And tax rate, the rate of tax being 18%. So tax rate is equal to 18%. And as we learned earlier, discounted price is equal to marked price minus discount. What discounted price simply you can understand means एक प्राइस है जिसको हम लोग डिस्काउंट किए किसी चीज़ पे, तो अब जो डिस्काउंट है उसको MRP से घटा देना है हम लोगों को. इससे हम लोगों को मिल जाएगा डिस्काउंटेड प्राइस. सिंपली यही करना है हम लोग. तो डिस्काउंटेड प्राइस इज इक्वल टू मार्केट प्राइस माइनस डिस्काउंट. एंड हियर मार्केट प्राइस ऑफ द चेयर इज गिवन एज ₹5,000 and discount 20%. So 20% of what? You must always note it. Discount is calculated always on a marked price, not on any other price. Exceptions are some special cases in which the conditions are given in the question itself. So we'll not go out of the topic. The discounted price is equal to marked price minus discount, and discount is 20% of marked price. So marked price is 5,000. 5,000 minus 20% of ₹5,000. So 20% of ₹5,000. What shall be 20 by 100 into ₹5,000? We'll get it 20 by 100. So 21 are 20 and 25 are 100. So 1 by 5 into 5,000. No, 5 1 are 5 and 5,000 are 5,000. So the answer for the discount will be ₹1,000. So marked price minus discount, discounted price now. Therefore discounted price is equal to 5,000 minus 1,000, which is discount. So 5,000 minus 4,000. 5,000 minus 1,000 is equal to ₹4,000, which is the discounted price. Now, the question is not over yet. Tax. So tax is equal to rate of tax into the discounted value. Simple, you must know it. 18% of the discounted value, which we calculated right now, which is 4,000. So 18% of ₹4,000. 18 by 100 into ₹4,000. You can calculate it. The answer will be ₹720. Tax Dinesh has to pay is 720 and the discounted price is ₹4,000. So total amount which Dinesh will pay, which is the what the question demands for. So total amount to be paid by Dinesh is equal to ₹4,000 plus ₹720, which is equal to ₹4,720. So here you must note simple common points here. First one is tax is calculated on the sale price or the marked price minus discount. If some discount is given, then marked price minus discount. Okay, so you must note it and you must keep it in your mind. Tax is calculated on the sale price. Okay, and second one is tax is equal to rate of tax into selling price. So these 2 points shall be the main points in this chapter. So now we shall know what is goods and service tax, which is the main topic in this chapter GST. So prior to 1st July 2017, before 1st July 2017, we had a number of indirect taxes such as VAT, excise, service tax, etc. But from 1st July 2017 onwards, the government introduced GST in place of all these taxes to reduce the complexity of this. So from 1st July 2017 onwards, the government of India has abolished all such indirect taxes and introduced a new tax which is also indirect, and it is called goods and services taxes, or GST. So GST is a consumption-based tax which is levied upon one buys, transfers goods or services, or both. And GST is to be levied at every point of sale, transfer of goods or services, or both in India. Okay. And GST is applicable throughout the country. So, why GST was introduced by the government? These are not in your syllabus, means these are not recommended to be taught, but you must know it. It is interesting. Why GST was introduced by the government? Reasons for the introduction of GST: to remove disparity of the taxes in different states and to bring about uniformity in rate of taxation on goods or services throughout the country. The aim of introduction of GST was what? One nation, one tax. You must have heard it earlier. One nation, one tax was the aim of government in implementing GST. And GST is expected to bring buoyancy to the government revenue by widening the tax base. Buoyancy, balance. Okay. So this was the introduction to GST we studied till here. Now we shall start about the main topics on which the whole exercise is based. You must know only one thing, and the whole exercise is the most easiest one you have ever solved. We studied about GST and about all that which is not important for the exercise purpose. But now we should study on what exercise is based, your exercise 1A. Okay. So what is GST? You know, goods and service tax. GST has 3 parts. Okay. We shall study first about transactions. So there are 2 types of transactions. For example, when a person in Ranchi, Jharkhand, transfers or sends his goods or services to a person in Kanpur, UP, then it is a transaction in which 2 states are involved now. Therefore, this transaction is different from the one in which a transaction which takes place only in one state, for example Jharkhand, from Ranchi to Jamshedpur. So transactions are of 2 types. First, interstate transaction. As its name suggests, this transaction takes place between 2 states within India. For example, from Delhi to Kanpur, or from UP to Jharkhand, etc. And after interstate transaction, there is intrastate transaction, which means the transaction which takes place only in one state of India, only in one state, within one state. So you now know about 2 transactions, 2 types of transactions: the interstate transaction which takes place between 2 states, and the interstate transactions which takes place between 2 states, and intrastate transaction which takes place within a same state. Okay. So GST comprises of the central GST, state GST, integrated GST. As you know that the GST goes to central government and the state government. Now, but when the interstate transaction comes, means from 2 states, between 2 states, from Jharkhand to UP, then a question arises whether Jharkhand will take the tax or UP government. So to solve this, during interstate transaction, and another form of GST is charged, the IGST, the integrated GST, or integrated goods and services tax. So this tax goes not to the UP government, not to the Jharkhand government, not to any state government. This goes directly to the central government. Okay. And secondly, it is CGST and SGST, or the central GST and the state GST. this only comes when the transaction is within a union territory or a state in India. So when there is intra-state transaction or there is a transaction within same state, then half, for example, the sari is of 1,000 and the GST is 10%. So half of the GST will go to the central government, means CGST, and half of the tax will go to the state government, means which is the SGST. Okay, so half of 10% is 5%, so 5% of rupees 1,000 will go to the CGST, means central government, and half of the tax, which is 5%, will go to the state government in the form of SGST or state GST. Okay, so clear here? If it is not clear, you can restart the video and you can see it off. Once you see it again, then there will be no chance of confusion here, as some students get confused about what is SGST, CGST. From before we saw about CGST, SGST and IGST. So as a summary, you must note 2 points here. The first point is, in case of intra-state transaction within a same state, the seller collects both CGST and SGST from the buyer and deposits the CGST with the central government and the SGST with the state government. Okay. In general, the tax collected on intrastate movement of goods and services is to be shared equally by the central government and the state government. Therefore, if the rate of GST is equal to 18%, then the rate of central GST or CGST is equal to 9%, and the rate of state GST or SGST is equal to 9%, as I told you earlier. So you must note all this what I am saying, as it is very important for the exercise. And second point, in case of interstate movement of goods and services or interstate transaction, the seller collects the IGST from the buyer and deposits it with the central government. Therefore, the rate of GST is equal to 18%, and the rate of integrated GST or IGST is equal to 18%, and same as the GST. So these 2 points are the main points which will help us to solve the exercises of exercise 1A. As this one, if rate of GST is 18% in intrastate transaction, then CGST is equal to 9%, and GST is equal to 9%. These all are very important, and when interstate movement of goods and services, then rate of GST is equal to 18% and IGST is also equal to 18%. These are very important for this all exercises. Now we shall solve some examples so that your understanding for the topic GST shall be clear. Okay, so firstly we shall solve an example. The question is, find the amount of bill for the following intrastate transaction of goods. So find the amount of bill for the following intrastate transaction of goods. The rate of GST is 12% and MRP rupees 250, discount 30%. These are all shown on your screen, so you must see this question. It's a very simple question as you are solving it. Firstly, so solution. So MRP of the first one is rupees 250 and discount even is 30%. So discounted value. What shall be the discounted value? 30 means MRP minus the discount, and discount is 30%. So everything has it has a part 100%, and then 100% is divided into 30, 10, 20, 40, 50, etc. So the 30% is a part of 100%. So the left part is the discounted value, as 30% is the discount and 100% is the MRP. So the discounted value is the left part, as the MRP minus discount is equal to the discounted value. So it is the left part of 100% after 30% is deducted. Then 100 minus 30 is equal to 70. So 70%, as discount is 30% of MRP, thus the discounted value, that is the left part, is also 70% of MRP, and MRP is rupees 250. So 70% of rupees 250 is equal to 70 by 100 into rupees 250. So we shall solve it, and the answer which finally will come is rupees 175. Similarly, we shall solve all these to make your concept clear. You must have seen this all, and you can pause the video and notice each and every small step which is followed here. Okay, now the discounted value is of all the things are noted, then, and the total is also found, which is rupees 637, isn't it? Then what shall we do here? We shall see GST. So since you must have noted that in the question it is a intra-state transaction, that is within same state of India. So in the same state, half goes to the central government and half goes to the state government. So CGST and SGST, and CGST is half of the GST, total GST, and SGST is also is equal to CGST is equal to the half of the GST. So CGST is equal to half of GST, means rate of GST, and rate of GST is 12%. So CGST is equal to half of 12%, what? 6%. So CGST is equal to 6% of the total MRP, and total MRP we found that, sorry, MRP no, selling price. Total GST is calculated on selling price, and discount is calculated on MRP or marked price. So CGST is the GST tax, then it is calculated on discounted value, and total discounted value is rupees 637. So CGST is equal to 6% of rupees 637, isn't it? Then CGST is equal to 6% of rupees 637 is equal to 600 into 637 is equal to rupees 38.22. And since both the rate of CGST and SGST is same, that's it is simple thing that SGST will also be same. But according to your ICSE guidelines, you must solve both the CGST and SGST differently. You cannot write that CGST is equal to SGST is equal to whatever. Okay, so you must solve it differently, both CGST and SGST. Even if you know that the answer will come same, but also you must solve it. And the amount of bill. So total GST, what? The discounted value plus total GST is equal to the amount of bill, na, or half only. No, na. The total GST, the 12% of this discounted value, and GST comprises of CGST and SGST. Thus, the amount of bill will also be the discounted value plus the half of the GST, means CGST, and half of the GST SGST. So rupees 637 plus 38.22 plus 38.22 is equal to the answer, which is rupees 713.44, which will be the answer for this question. And I think that it is clear to you the intrastate transactions. The questions based on intrastate transactions will be clear to you. And we'll also solve in the next video. We'll tell you the exercises. We'll solve that exercises with some integrated video concepts. Okay, so keep watching. We will solve one more question related to the interstate transaction. The question is, find the amount of bill for the following interstate transaction of services provided by some consulting agency. So it is a case of interstate transaction, and the cost of services and the GST percent is all that is given in your screen. You can pause and see this question, and you can solve it on your own too. But here we are giving the solution here. The cost of service of the first service, I'm gonna tell only the first service, and all you can observe here, all are same only. You must have some understanding. Okay, so the cost of service, first service is rupees 2,400, and the GST rate of GST is 12% as given in the question. And IGST, since it is a condition of what? Interstate transaction, and interstate transaction, in interstate transaction, no CGST and SGST is taken. You know, na? We studied earlier. Only one type of GST is taken, which is integrated GST or IGST. So GST percent is 12%, and IGST is equal to what? The rate of the tax, means GST percent. So IGST is equal to GST. Thus, the rate of IGST is also equal to 12%. So IGST is equal to 12% of the discounted value. So, sorry, there is no discount. Thus, discounted value is equal to the selling price, isn't it? As you know it. So the cost of service is the selling price is equal to discounted value, and GST is calculated on the discounted value, but there is no discount here, so we'll take it the cost of service only as the value. So the IGST is 12% of the rupees 2400. That's 12 by 100 into rupees 2400. On further simplifications, you may solve it, and at last you'll get the same answer, rupees 288. And the amount of service. So amount of service, what? Amount means amount of bill. Bill means the amount paid, na? And the amount paid by customer is the sum of the cost of service, means the MRP, and the tax charged by the dealer. That's rupees 2400, which is the cost of the service, and the GST. So cost of service plus IGST is equal to rupees 2400 plus rupees 288, and on adding these we shall get rupees 2688. Okay, and simply all these are given, and since we are taking the amount of service here, now we are calculating here, since there is no discount, so we can it is a little short question, so amount of service is calculated here. Then at last, on adding each and every amount of the service, we'll get the total amount of the bill that the consulting agency is giving. Okay, so the total amount of bill on adding these all the cost of services for services is the answer, which is 13,930.40 rupees. So I think that it is very clear to you, the interstate transaction and the intrastate transactions, as I solved here both the questions based on both the topics. And in the next video we shall study about the exercise. We shall solve the questions of exercise. Various exercises are there. Most of them are very easy, but also we shall study first, second, third. There are a total of 15 questions. We shall solve not all 15, but we shall solve at least 5 questions, and I am sure that it will help you in making your understanding clear about GST. Thank you for watching this video, and be continued with eduzone.apz.com, and go to Google for our website eduzone.apz.com, and subscribe our channel at YouTube Edu Zone. Thank you and have a nice day. Stay tuned. Thank you.